Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Overnight Action Report here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. This is where we're going to review what happened overnight in the Asian markets. That's going to influence what happens here in the U.S., and we're going to take a look at the market open in Europe. So let's jump right into the Asian Pacific region. We saw that the Japanese Nikkei climbed 0.7%. That means this week, the Japanese Nikkei, it finished to the upside, 2.1% for the week. Nice gain. And that was in the face of continued strength in the dollar and weakness in the yen. We actually saw that the dollar-yen pair finished the overnight action. Right now it is at 118.15, seeing that pair. Now it did come off of its highs with some dollar weakness early in the session, but that's notable. It's also worth noting that we saw that the tick flow, the Treasury International Capital System, had shown data that Japan is actually holding most of the U.S. debt instruments. In other words, they've leapfrogged the Chinese. So very interesting. We saw that some retailers, J-Front Retailing, Tokyo Electron, as well as Kanaka Minolta, are all up between 2.2 and 4.7%. On the downside, you're seeing insurance as well as Nippon Paper, Panasonic, and Sony lost between 0.8 and 6.8%. Now, what's also notable is watch Panasonic. I think there could be some movement there. There might be some solar panel deals that are coming out on that name, but we'll keep an eye on that. EWJ is the ETF. It is trading at $50.56. The weekly options that are expiring next Friday, pricing in a 2% move for the options that track the Japanese stocks on the Nikkei. That's about a $1.13 move. So you could see this as high as 51 and about 51.75, all the way down to 48.50. Taking a look at Hong Kong, the Hang Seng, it shed 0.2% overnight. It's extending its decline of 3.3% for the week. So Hong Kong took it hard on the chin. Financials basically are lagging. They're down. Let's see. We had Bank of China, Hong Kong. We had Bank of East Asia, all lost between 0.8% and 1.7%. We did, though, see that there was a pop in some gaming names. Most notable, Galaxy Entertainment did gain 1.4%. EWH, $20 ETF that tracks the stocks in the Hang Seng. The options right now, the monthly options that are expiring roughly around 3.5 weeks from now, are pricing in the potential for about a 4.5% move either up or down in EWH. We'll keep a close eye on that. China's Shanghai Composite on the mainland added about 0.2% today, but they lost 3.4% for the week. You're seeing some critical technology, medical device and instrument names, as well as some infrastructure plays and development names. They're all on the rise. We'll keep an eye on that. And FXI would be the large cap ETF that tracks the large cap stocks in China. The ETF went out at, it's trading right around 35.90. The weekly options are pricing the potential for FXI to move up or down over the next 7 days, about 3.2% or $1.15. And then India was down just a sliver, about 0.1%. It did take back some of its weekly gain. The weekly gain for India was right around on the Sensex 1%. Financials led the way most of the session overnight with ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, and SBI. They struggled. That's what really was dragging the market down overnight, down between 0.1% and 1.8% respectively. Tata Motors and Infosys really outperformed with 2% and 1.1% respective gains. EPI trading at 2034. That's the ETF that tracks the Indian stocks on the Sensex. The weekly options are pricing in a 2.5% move going into next week for the next 7 days. That's about a 51-cent range right now. Now, taking a look at the German DAX, it opened up right now. It's to the upside, up about 0.3%. Deutsche Bank is the leader on the financial side. The stock has climbed 1.4%. Now you have Volkswagen, Daimler, and BMW. They've added about 0.4% to 1.4%. So you're seeing that the exporters are continuing to lead in Germany. On the downside, Siemens, SAP, and Bayer are all down between 0.1% and 0.3% currently in this session. We'll keep an eye on those large cap names in Germany. See if they start weighing a little bit more on the upside move. EWG is the ETF. It trades at $26, and the weekly options are pricing the potential for a 3% move either up or down in EWG through next Friday. That's roughly a 53-cent move. The UK FTSE higher by about 0.3% right now in the opening part of the session. Drug makers and consumer names continue to lead during early in the session. AstraZeneca, GlaxoSmithKline are the most notable drug names. They're up about 1.1% and 2.5% respectively. You have Burberry Group, Unilever, Marks & Spencer, all holding gains between 0.8% and 2% in those consumer names. EWU is the ETF that tracks FTSE stocks. It's trading at right now around $30.93. The weekly options that are expiring next Friday are pricing the potential for this ETF to be in a range of either up or down about 2.2%, or in other words, a 71-cent range. French CAC. It's climbed about 0.5% so far this session. There are growth-sensitive names like Total, Renault, all up between about 1.4%, while consumer stocks like Keurig, L'Oreal, Louis Vuitton, all showing gains after the pullbacks that we saw yesterday. That's because probably with the firming of the currencies, both of the euro, the yen, and the yuan in China. Those gains in those consumer names are roughly around between 0.3% and 1.1% respectively. Now, we do see some weakness in the financials. The banks are lagging with BNP Paribas, Crédit Agricole, and Société Générale all down between 0.3% and 0.6%. We want to watch this very closely. The interest rate markets have firmed up a little bit. Yields are holding. Prices have been firming up in the interest rate markets in Europe. We'll watch that very closely. EWQ is the ETF for France, and it's trading at 24.26. The monthly options are pricing in the potential for this ETF over the next 3.5 weeks to be either up or down about 6.5%. So you got a decent range, about $1 for this $24.26 ETF. Last note, what is notable, Greece is most likely going to return into the headlines, especially next week after the European Stability Mechanism came out and expressed concerns about the country's bailout commitments. Taking a look at the Greek ETF, it's up a little bit this morning at 775. We're going to watch to see if those headlines start to hit now that Italy has basically started to put into motion a recapitalization of their banks. Let's see what happens in Greece. That could be some further headlines, add a little volatility going into next week. But we'll watch that during the session and over the weekend. As a matter of fact, join us Sunday night at 5 p.m. where we'll be doing the Sunday night setups. And that's 5 p.m. Central Time. That's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Till then, join us at the opening bell at 9:30 Eastern Time today. We'll check on what's hot on the open. See you then.